Thank you.
Our next item is action item 3. The execution authorizes the execution of a settlement agreement with Richard Allen Preparatory Charter School. May I have a motion and a second to consider action item 3?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or discussion on action item number 3? Ms. McIver? I'm sorry. Ms. McCalkin?
Yeah, a couple things. One, I just wanted to clarify a couple things. When I asked a question at the student achievement meeting, I did not understand the response to be that this was, I forget the term that was used. Oh God, I forgot. Legally binding. So I did not, I disagree with those comments. I wanted to put that on the record. But, and the other question I wanted to ask, and clarify, this is not a charter renewal. So the statement was made that we are authorizing a charter renewal. This is not a charter renewal. And I don't know if anybody wanted to clarify that.
We will call the Christina up to speak for the charter office.
Good evening. Good evening, Christina Grant, Chief of the Charter Schools Office. To clarify, this is a recommendation to pursue the non-renewal process in a different route. We would be seeking permission to have the school remain open in lieu of legal proceedings by setting the targets that we expect to see through the 18 conditions set forth in the settlement agreement. If the school does not meet those targets, the board has met and agreed to surrender the charter at the end of this defined term. The only way the school would be renewed is if they were to meet these targets, and then the school would go through a formal renewal process, and an additional recommendation would be made at that time.
Are there any other comments from board members?
So this is not an automatic renewal, even if they meet those targets.
No, not at all.
And I forget what the other thing I was going to say.
Are there any other comments from board members? It's then time to vote on this matter.
On action item 3, Ms. Dancy?
I've reviewed the material, and as you said, it's not a renewal, but I just feel that I don't see how it can be achieved. And as a result of that, I'm voting no.
Ms. Fix Lopez?
No.
Mr. Huang?
Yes.
Dr. McColgan?
Because I'd rather see money spent on trying to achieve those goals rather than on legal fees, and the school's going to remain open in this time frame anyway, I'm voting yes.
Dr. McGinley?
I'm reluctantly voting yes. The agreement asserts a clear timeline and clear criteria to resolve the status of the school, and includes the surrender clause, and the school must meet all of the required criteria in order to continue in operation.
Dr. McIver?
I actually have a longer statement that goes with my vote because I'd like it in the record, so I'd like to just read this. In the late 90s, I was a participant in Black Alliance for Educational Options, an organization that advocated for more and better options for Philadelphia students. I became a believer in the power of charter schools to provide access to educational opportunities that so many children in our district did not have. Implied in the founding of charter schools is the belief that children can achieve at levels far above those found in district schools. By design, charter schools are not burdened by the bureaucracy that makes innovation challenging in a large district like ours. That is why the historical data regarding student achievement at Richard Allen is so alarming. It signals to me that this school, free from the burdens of bureaucracy, given the flexibility to imagine and innovate and the ability to directly hire and train staff, has not demonstrated that they can provide a better educational option for children. I believe that this school should close, but recognize that closing a school has an impact on the community, families, and children involved. I find it surprising that Richard Allen has not experienced a reduction in enrollment. This tells me that the community is heavily invested in the success of the school, and closing a school which the community has embraced can have a detrimental impact on the most vulnerable members of that community. It is for this reason that I am voting yes, but encourage the community to demand more from Richard Allen. Your children can achieve more. Your children deserve more. I'm voting.
Mr. Walker?
Our commitment is to quality, and it's not much of a secret to see that Richard Allen is failing in that respect. We take our charter law as we find it, and until it's changed, I think the best course for us to at least try to have quality with Richard Allen is by supporting this resolution. And the key aspect of this resolution that draws a line in the sand is that if Richard Allen does not fully satisfy the conditions, the charter will be surrendered. So for that reason, I'm in support of the motion.
And I'm voting no, but before we read and call the roll finally, I'd like to have a clarification, and if we need to have a revote on this issue. The question was raised whether or not this is a renewal of the charter, and if you would explain in more detail what you said.
Certainly. So a part of this settlement, the school will be signing a charter agreement, which will complete the charter term. And so we will be allowing the school to remain open during the time that the school would remain open while we were going through proceedings. And so in technicality, they are being renewed to the end of the term that they are currently in, but they are not getting a renewal beyond that term. So as of June 2021, if they have not met these conditions, their board has voted and agreed to surrender their charter.